Hello, everyone, caretakers, family, parents. I am Arlen Casimir CR, and I am a primary staff developer at the Reading and Writing Project at Teachers College Columbia University, where we work shoulder to shoulder in schools with students, teachers, literacy coaches, and administrators across the nation and the world. I'm excited to be here with you today because I'm going to offer you some tips, tools, and strategies to help your kindergartner, first grader, and second grader as they write with their spelling. So I'm going to go in order and I'll talk about which tools could be used across grade levels and strategies that could be used across grade levels as well. We'll start with kindergarten and then first grade and second grade and wrap up all that we've learned in our time together. So let's get started with kindergarten. So when we're supporting kindergartners, one of the things that we'll want to do is have tools handy to support them with their spelling. So some of the tools that we could have handy for kindergartners are the alphabet chart. This is a really helpful tool because as students write, they could listen for the sounds, locate the corresponding letter, and represent it on the page with their writing. Another tool that could be very helpful is the vowel chart. The vowel chart is helpful in reminding students that every word has a vowel, and if they're having a hard time including those vowels in their writing, you could certainly invite them to find the vowel and the sound and represent it in their writing. And finally, the last tool that could be very helpful for kindergartners is blends and digraphs tool. The blends and digraphs tool really helps them to notice those sounds that are coming together to make a sound, and also those digraphs. So whether it's bull for block or for thumbs up, that could be very helpful in helping children to locate it and use this tool with their writing. So having tools present as they write is very helpful for all children, especially kindergartners as they're learning this phonics knowledge and representing it in their writing. The next thing that you'll want to invite kindergartners to do as they write is know that we can write words and that you have this expectation for them and you'll help them with it. So let's say a kindergartner is trying to write the word cat. They may think of the word cat and they could say it slowly, k-at, cat. And next they could listen for the sounds that they hear, k, at, cat. Then we could invite them to write it down. So they may start to write the C, k, and we may hear them repeating those sounds, ah, ah, ah. Oh, use your vowels chart, that sounds like a vowel. Okay. Use your alphabet chart to remember that letter. What does it look like? They write down the word cat and that you could have them check it using this alphabet chart. Where's your first sound? K. Where's your second sound? Ah. Where's your third sound? So having them find those letters and check their work is really important and very helpful for kindergartners. Now, let's say that you want to help your kindergartner to write and check their writing afterwards. You want them to generate their writing, write as much as possible, and then find and fix their spelling mistakes afterwards. Here is a helpful tool for that. You can invite them to read their writing slowly, find their mistakes, and fix them. And I am going to show you a piece of student writing where you could help with that in kindergarten. So here's a piece of writing, and it says here, I went to Costco. So what you might see in kindergarten is a child who is writing these letter strands, but each letter represents a word. So that could be a great opportunity to invite them to stretch those words out and write those words, especially a word like to, a word like went, just helping them go back and say those words slowly. And that could help you to see where your child needs teaching. Now, of course, this is December and we're in March. So what would Grace's writing look like in March? Well, your student may look like, their writing may look like that, or their writing may look like this. So I took my tooth out. So when we see this kind of writing, we could certainly help this child to, Grace, for example, to look at her writing, to find the mistakes, and then find the vowel, because here she has 2 consonants and no vowels. So this might be the way that you want to go, setting a timer for your child to write, and then inviting them to read it slowly, fix their mistakes using their tools, find their mistakes using their tools, and then fix them. And now let's talk about first grade. So when we're helping our first graders, some of the tools that could be very supportive are the blends chart to help our first graders, and also the long and short vowel chart. Now, at this grade, we're really helping children to think about when the letter is saying its name in words, like an acorn, versus when the letter is saying its sound in words, like an apple. So we may want to help children to use these 2 tools to really support them with their writing. And again, you could help them as they write or after they write. If you're helping your student as they write, invite them to say the word, to slide it, to hear it, and to write it. This is a strategy for ways to spell words that's really helpful. Excuse the glare. You could also have them listen for little words inside. Like in winter, we have the word in winter, so that could be very helpful. Here you see a little word wall. You could create this by putting words under each letter and having them use these words as snap words, and also inviting them to use words they know. So for example, if they're writing the word smart, there's the word art in there. And finally, to write those words part by part. So if they're writing crocodile, starting with the croc, croco, croca, crocodile. So helping them in that way. So this is a tool that's very helpful with first graders as they write. Now, if you want to help your first grader find and fix spelling mistakes after they write, then it might look like having them go through this process again. Here's some first grade writing where we could see this. Here we have, I was getting pretty tired. So we already see where some of these mistakes are. I sat back in my high chair and did a little yawn. So with this kind of writing, helping children to notice, read their writing again and notice where they have mistakes, to find those mistakes and circle them and fix them using all that they know. So this is another way to help your first grader. If you are helping your second grader with their writing, you could do the same process, but second graders know quite a bit more about phonics principles. So maybe you'll invite them to think about when they're writing words part by parts, what are all the syllables? This is a phonics professor words chart that we have that has all of the things that children have learned in first grade, kindergarten, and now second grade. So this is another tool that you could use to support them. You could invite them to remember that they know their consonants, there are vowels. They may also need the vowels chart for long and short vowels, to think about word parts, to notice the short vowels, the long vowels, to notice the contractions, like in the words don't, can't, ow, where. There are control vowels, there are vowel teams, like in tail, the AI, and keep, the EE, and leap, the EA, the silent E, like in words like in make, like, vote. So these are some phonics principles that you could remind your students of, and this chart is super helpful for second graders and really helps them to take off as they are writing. And if you're checking their writing afterwards, you could certainly use a tool like this to help them. So remember, when you are helping your kindergartner, first grader, or second grader, first decide if you're going to help them with their spelling as they write or after they write. Really name that. And if you are having them help themselves as they write, remember to use the tools. So for kindergartners, it's their alphabet chart. For first graders and second graders, it could be their blend chart. For first graders and second graders, it could be their vowels chart with short vowels and long vowels, and remind them of the different strategies they use. And then afterwards, you could certainly support them to find and fix their mistakes. So that's another thing that you could do to help them. Have them read their writing slowly, find mistakes, and fix them. And if you are helping your second grader to write longer words, something that you can help them to do that with is a chart like this, where you have them say the word, clap the beats, which are the syllables, like in wonderful, say the syllables, wonderful, and write those syllables, wonderful. As you can see, second graders are working on longer words. So I hope that that was really helpful for you. And most of all, have fun during this time as your writers explore things, discover things, write about things, and remind them that with their tools and strategies, they could be the best spellers ever. Thank you.